Hello friends, welcome to ACC. My name is Honi Arora. Today I am going to show you a great game played between Paul Keres and Flohr Salo, and this game is an amazing masterpiece of Keres on how to beat someone if he does not follow opening principles. This game was played in Semmering, Australia in 1937. Keres started with 1 d4. Flohr played knight f6, c4, g6, knight f3, bishop g7, g3, c6, bishop g2, d5, c into d5, and here black made an inaccuracy, knight into d5. Better was to play c into d5 because it keeps the center, and then game could have continued by castle, castle, knight c3, knight c6, knight e5 with better position for white. But Flohr played knight into d5 and the game continued short side castle, knight c3, and here black played a dubious move, knight into c3. And this move is bad because black has not developed his pieces, and exchanging in such position always favors white. So after knight into c3, white played b into c3, c5, bishop a3, c into d4, knight into d4. Instead of knight into d4, c into d4 was also possible, and then possible continuation would be knight c6, e3 with better position for white. So on knight into d4, black played queen c7 to attack the pawn on c3. So Keres defended it by queen b3, and then Flohr played bishop f6 to support the pawn on e7 because Keres was threatening knight b5 and deflecting the c7 queen to attack the pawn on e7. Instead of bishop f6, knight c6 to do the same thing could be a mistake because of queen c4, and then there will be always planning of knight c6 and trying to take a pawn. So on bishop f6, Keres played rook fd1, and then Flohr played knight d7, and this move is an inaccuracy because it blocks the bishop on c8. Better was to develop the knight from c6 to challenge the knight on d4. And now the same continuation of knight into c6, b into c6, queen c4 does not works because of bishop e6, and if you take queen into c6, then queen into c6, bishop into c6, rook a c8, and if bishop g2, then rook into c3 is equality. So on knight d7, Keres played c4, and this move is an inaccuracy. Better would be to play knight b5, and if queen a5, then rook a b1 would be better. But after c4, the main problem was that black played knight c5, and after knight e6, white had some problems. So on c4, Flohr lightly played knight c5, and here bishop into c5 could be a mistake because of queen c5, and c4 pawn is weak, and black also has pair bishop advantage. So instead of bishop into c5, Keres played queen b4, and Flohr lightly played knight e6, and the game continued knight b5, queen e5, rook a c1, and here Flohr played an inaccuracy, rook d8. Better was to play queen into e2, and if rook e1, then queen into a2. And this position looks scary. But the fact is that there are no problems for black because of the bishop on f6, which controls the a1 and c3 square, and black will be planning to play rook d8 and play queen d2. Possible continuation after this would be if white plays bishop f1 to trap the queen by rook e2, then Flohr could have played rook d8, and if rook e2, then a5, queen e1, queen b3, and black queen will escape. And for example, if queen a4 instead of bishop f1, then black could escape by queen d2 and queen d8. So instead of queen into e2, Flohr played rook d8, and here Keres played a great move, rook d5. And Keres takes the advantage of his development. And on rook d5, Flohr played rook into d5, c into d5, and here Flohr played an inaccuracy, a6. Better would be to play knight g5, and f4 doesn't work because of queen e3 check, so Keres could have played knight c7. Then Flohr could have played queen into e2, sacrificing the rook, and if knight into a8, then knight h3 check, bishop into h3, bishop into h3, planning queen f3 and queen g2 mate, so queen f4 could be forced. Then Flohr could have played bishop g5 to deflect the queen on f4, so white could have played queen into g5, queen f3, and then rook c8 would be forced, and if bishop into c8, then white could have played queen into e7, threatening mate on f8, so king g7, queen f8 check, king f6, and bishop b2 check, and after this there would be a mate in a couple of moves. So instead of king g7, black could have played queen d1 check, king g2, and after queen into d5 it would be a draw. But Flohr did not play this, and he played an inaccuracy a6. And here Keres played a great move, knight to a7, and his plan is that if rook into a7, then rook into c8 check, knight f8, queen b6, and rook is attacked, so you have to play queen d4, and then Keres would have played queen d8, attacking the knight on f8, so bishop g7 is forced, then bishop into e7, and now it is winning for white. So instead of rook into a7, Flohr played knight d4, and this also loses to rook into c8 check, rook into c8, knight into c8, and the game continued queen into e2, h4, knight f5, queen e4, and here Flohr Salo resigned the game. And that's all for today. Please like, share, and subscribe.